We're going to hear from Rashawn Gary in a little bit, so I just wanted to ask you, is there anything you would rank as the biggest influence that Mike Smith has had on Rashawn's development?
I mean, there's too many things to list, but I can tell you one thing from the day Rashawn has gotten here. You talk about a guy that puts everything into whatever it is he's doing. He's going to bring tremendous energy and tremendous effort on every play, and it's showing. And I really think probably as much as anybody in 2 years on the defensive side of the ball, just you see it paying off for him. And he's going to be a big time player for us. And I think he's going to be a big time player in this league for a really long time. And it all starts with that work ethic and the detail. And I think Mike does a tremendous job working those guys. And, Rashawn's working hard to develop multiple moves and coming off the edge. But the one thing that definitely jumps out, and we see it every practice, every game, is just the effort that he plays with.
Steve McGargy.
Just wondering, you said the other day that Devin Bunches, he kind of looks the part just from his size and everything. Now that you've had a few practices with him, just what sticks out? And I'm just wondering how much of a rust factor there's been, because it's been so long since he's actually played in the game.
Yeah, Steve, I mean, it's tough to say right now just because, like yesterday he was a little bit in and out, and we've just not had a ton of reps with him. But we are excited about him and just the depth that he adds to the room, the competition that he brings to that room. Here's a guy that's played at a high level in this league. He's, he was on the team that went to the Super Bowl in Carolina. So we're excited just about his mentality and how he comes out to compete on a daily basis. But there's a lot to learn there. And, he's got to continue to grind over the summer, and so he can put his best foot forward come training camp.
Rob Domofsky.
Hey, Matt, you got me?
Got you, Rob.
So you had two rookies on your offensive line. You had your two rookie DBs making plays on the ball. Amari Rodgers is moving all over the place. I know it's early, but where do you think this rookie class is in terms of the possibility of immediate help right away? Because it sure looks like they're getting some opportunities.
Yeah, they're going to get opportunities. Everybody's going to get an opportunity, and it's our job to figure out how to get the best 11 out there. And so it's way too early to tell, how they're going to contribute this year. But we are excited about the guys, more so anything else, the character of these men and their work ethic, and just bringing great energy to this team, being great teammates, which I think is so imperative.
Tom Silverstein.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Tom.
When you were scripting this mini camp, did you take a little bit of a different route because you were dealing with Jordan through this? Did you have a more narrow breadth of plays you wanted to get him comfortable with?
No, I mean, we installed our offense and, kind of threw everything at him. I think he's a guy that, again, that hasn't had the experience of some others. So we've got to get him multiple looks at many different plays and really find out what he does best and what our team does best, because every year things change in the National Football League. And so just trying to get a feel for how much he can really handle. And I think he's done a great job of being intentional about his work, how he goes out to practice every day. And I think it's paying off for him. I think he's made some progress.
Dave Schrader.
Hi, Matt. You're going into year 3 here, and Za'Darius is going into year 3 here as well. From what you've seen from him as he just came over from Baltimore and became an instant leader for this team and has continued on with that path, just what has he meant to your team and your defense, especially just from the intangibles aspect, not just the stats he compiles on the field?
Yeah, I think Z is a guy that just sets a great example out there and brings a lot of energy to practice. And, he's definitely a disruptive force on the field. And, that's what we expect out of him. And he's done a great job, and he needs to continue to help bring others along with him, because if we can get everybody playing at his level, then I think we're going to have a pretty good defense.
Mark Daniels.
Hey, Matt, just wonder if you could summarize, what you thought of the work you got done these 3 days and how you observed the rookies, interacting with the veterans, in the building and on the field pretty much for the first time.
Yeah, no, I was pretty impressed with just, again, the energy and effort and the things that each individual's in control of. I think today was a little bit sloppy, especially on the offense side of the ball, and realize that you're going to have some of those days, but you gotta come with that intent, just that focus that you need to have, that great concentration that you need to have to put your best foot forward each and every day, because you get limited opportunities to get the whole team together to go out to practice. So that was the message to the guys, and they got to make sure that they maximize their time from now until we come back together on July 27th and try to make the most of a great training camp. So I've also been super impressed just with the camaraderie in that locker room at an early stage, I guess, if you will, with our young guys. I think we have really good veteran leadership around here, and these guys do a great job of embracing the rookies. And you see it when you go around to each position room and on the field and the drill work, you see veteran guys coaching up the younger guys. And that's what it's all about. I think if you get that player-led team, I think that's a pretty powerful component. And it's awesome when I go to the DBs and I see Kevin King coaching up the young guys, and you go to the receivers and you see Tay coaching up the young guys. You see, David coaching up some of the young linemen or whoever it is, Mercedes, the list goes on. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And so I'm really happy with that.
Aaron Nagler.
Coach, after a really odd year where you had no fans in the stands for the games, going all the way back to camp, kind of a weird existence, how exciting is it that you're going to have them back? I know you guys announced it while you were on the practice field there, that they'll be not just in the game, but training camp as well.
Yeah, no, we're super excited about that. I think there's just a different level of energy that our fans bring. Obviously, I think that we appreciate our fan support so much. I mean, they're the greatest fan base I've ever been around, and I think we can all say that in this building. So it's going to be great to have them at training camp, to have them back to Phil Lambeau, to make it this is, in my opinion, the most special place to play in the National Football League, and it definitely had a different feel to it last year without that fan support.
Bill Huber.
Hey, man, what's the plan for next week? And do you have any idea how many, what you might have numbers wise?
Yeah, we have a pretty good idea of how many guys we're going to have. I can't give you the exact number off the top of my head right now, but made sure that each position group communicated with their position coaches about what their plan was, and we'll adjust accordingly. But the guys that are here, we're going to go out on the field and we're going to work. I think that's what you can take advantage of that time if you choose to stay in Green Bay. And for the guys that are away, then we're going to have a virtual component where they can get credit for that as well. But the bottom line is everybody has to, they have to be a pro, and they have to go attack it wherever they are and put their best foot forward so that we can hit the ground running come July 27th.
Olivia Reiner.
Hi, Matt. With training camp on the horizon, what percentage of the tier 1 and 2 staff members and then the players are you anticipating being vaccinated by then? And then what has your messaging just overall been about that topic?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close to 100% of the tier 1 and tier 2. I'm not quite sure where we're at. I know we're not quite there from a player standpoint, and that's something that, we're going to try to continue to educate these guys on. We're just stating the facts based from in terms of what the protocols are from the National Football League. And certainly, we'll encourage everybody, because I do think that there's an advantage if you do get vaccinated. There's a lot less worry in terms of the close contacts, missing games. And I know that affects guys differently in terms of whether or not they get paid and whatnot based on their contracts. So, walking around without a mask is definitely a free feeling. And so we're going to encourage all the guys to get the vaccine. And, but ultimately it's their decision. You know, you can't force this upon anybody. And each individual has to make their most educated decision that fits their needs the best.
Tom Silverstein.
Hey, Matt, just as a follow-up, what do you find to be the biggest hesitation? I mean, we all know there's some historical influences with not wanting to get vaccinated, but is there like an athletic angle to it? Are guys worried about performance or anything like that? What do you find?
Yeah, to be honest with you, Tom, I don't really know. I do think that there's probably some misinformation out there regarding the vaccination process and what it does to you. And, you know, we brought in an outside source, somebody totally independent from the Green Bay Packers, from the National Football League, and try to educate these guys as best we can. That's all. I think that's all we can do.
Bill Huber.
Hey, Matt, obviously, you know a lot about quarterbacks. Blake's throwing motion is a bit unorthodox, you might say. Does that matter? Or as long as the ball gets to where it needs to get to accurately and on time, is that the only thing that matters?
Yeah, I think if you look around the league, everybody throws it a little bit differently. And it's all about timing and accuracy. Obviously making the correct decisions, but as long as the ball gets to where it needs to be in the timing of the play, that's really what we're looking for.
Any other questions for Coach? Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Matt, when Jordan is under center, how much of that is new to him, given what, you know, limitations you had last year? Where is he in that development, and how much does that affect the rest of his game in terms of accuracy, the footwork? You know, how much of that is really critical?
I think he's done a nice job being under center. I don't think it feels foreign to him by any means. And, you know, even whether or not you play in a system that's primarily in the gun in college or in the pistol and in college, it a lot of the drill work you do, it starts from under center. So I think it's just building that rapport with our centers that are here. And that is going to take some time, and we'll continue to work on it and making sure that our cadence is great, because I think it starts right there. And then it goes down to the fundamentals of receiving the snap and making sure that your footwork's on point on every play. And we have a lot of different types of, whether it's drops or run tracks that we have them take. And you just, you know, it's something that you continually work on every day in practice. And, you know, because each game plan could present a different option for you, whether you're under center or you're in the gun.
Aaron Nagler.
Thanks.
Coach, I don't know how up on the current podcast scene you are, but Zach Taylor appeared with your boy Sean on Peter Schrager's podcast recently and was talking about how you used to purposely try to get Sean McVay going on headset at times and in meetings, and were purposely trying to get him riled up. Is that something you recall? Is that a fair assessment? What do you remember about that?
Yeah, I think those guys are just trying to have good stories to up their ratings or something, but definitely never intentional. I did see it. Those guys sent it to me last night, and I got a good laugh out of it, because there were some times he would definitely get rattled or upset, if you will. And but I would say the most of the time, it's when you are having conversations, it's always about what exactly he's going over. And you know, when you got a young quarterback next year, or whether you got a coach that's new to the system, you're always trying to, you know, maybe add a different coaching point. And so never intentional, but we definitely had our moments. And it's fun to sit back and reminisce about those and laugh at them now.